Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Muhammad Hirzam Razali and today I want to share about the Dunning's eclectic paradigm. So let we move to introduction. One of the ways a company can grow is to expand their business overseas. There also can be certain motivations for company to do so. That can be advantage in terms of strategic resources like cheaper manpower, availability of technology, new customers or brand value improvement. So there can be various advantages. Now, manufacturing companies, for instance, can look at efficient manufacturing, cheaper raw materials, economies of scale, etc. Now, whatever be the incentive of expansion, companies will need to strategically plan their entry into a foreign country, and one of the ways for companies to expand overseas is for indirect investment, which is FDI. Now, let's look what a FDI, because the concept of FDI is relevant in studying the OLI framework. FDI is a direct long-term investment in business operations in foreign country. A company engaged in FDI becomes a multinational corporation, MNC, as it now operates in multiple countries. FDI can actually take two forms: greenfield investments and mergers and acquisitions. Now, greenfield investments is a route in which company establishes its presence from the ground up in the foreign country. So, they actually set up everything they do in their home country from scratch and start operating. So, they set up their factories, they get raw materials, they essentially set everything up from the ground up and do exactly what they do in the foreign, in the home country. Mergers and acquisitions is a way in which a company merges with or acquires an existing foreign company. It's easy to understand why more MNC would actually choose mergers or greenfield investment, because greenfield investments takes a lot of investment, a lot of work in setting everything up. So now, what is eclectic paradigm? So, the Dunning's eclectic paradigm was introduced by John H. Dunning, an emeritus professor at the Rutgers University and University of Reading in the 1980s. He proposed the eclectic paradigm as a framework for determining the extent and pattern of the value chain operations that the companies own abroad. The eclectic paradigm is a method for analyzing the attractiveness of making a foreign direct investment. Now, according to eclectic paradigm, for a company to engage an FDI, it needs to attain certain advantages. The paradigm is also called the OLI paradigm or the OLI framework. SOLI actually stands for the three advantages the company needs to drive when it goes into FDI. The Dunning distinguishes three types of advantages categories. Firstly, ownership advantages, which is firm-specific advantages. Secondly, location advantages, which is country-specific advantages. And lastly, internalization advantages.
Assalamualaikum and hi. Okay, the first factor is ownership advantages. Firms must have ownership advantages if they want to enter and conduct business in foreign markets. The firm's specific advantages can be tangible and intangible, and it should be transferable with minimum cost among its subsidiaries. Examples of ownership advantages are proprietary technology, knowledge, trademarks or brand names, capabilities, processes, managerial capabilities, and access to substantial resources. Firm must enjoy advantages sufficient to offset the costs that the firms will incur if they establish their operations abroad. The advantages either give rise to higher revenues and lower costs that can offset the cost of operating in locations abroad. The advantages also must be specific to the firms that possess them and not easily transferable to other firms. For example, Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC is a strong brand since now KFC have 24,000 restaurants in 145 countries. This is because KFC have a firm specific advantages. The second factor is location advantages. Each country is unique and has its own advantages. Location advantages refer to the advantages that a country has in which others do not have. Every country possesses a distinctive set of advantages from which companies can derive specific advantages. The location advantages can be categorized into three types. The first one is economic advantage, which consists of the quantities and qualities of the factors of production, such as the country's natural resources, logistic and communication infrastructure, the size of the markets, and among others. For example, Saudi Arabia possesses around 17% of the world's proven petroleum reserve. The oil and gas sector accounts for about 50% of gross domestic product and about 70% of export earnings. A part of petroleum, the kingdom's other natural resources include natural gas, iron ore, gold, and copper. The next is the political advantages. Political advantages also play an important role as the policy marker. Some of the policies may influence the rate of foreign direct investment inflow, infra-firm productions, regulations and law, and the interest rates. For the example is Malaysia. Malaysia have diplomatic with all countries except Israel. And the third factor comprises the social and cultural advantages that include the physical distance between home and host countries, similarity in culture and language, and attitude and perceptions toward foreigner. For example, Malaysia and Turkey. Malaysia and Turkey have a same religion and culture. They also eat the halal foods. As a Muslim, the attitude is same, such as being a good person and respect each other. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Very Anthony Gombe. So, the last factor is internalization advantages. This factor is based on transaction cost theory. The firm could internalize some of its value chain activities internally. It may reduce its cost of production tremendously, or if the firm retains or acquires one or more value chain activities within the firms, it may reduce the problems and disadvantages when dealing with external crises. For example, Santan from AirAsia and Brahims from Malaysia Airlines. The firm may choose internalization when the market does not exist or when the external value chain functions poorly, so that transaction expenses increases. For example, when we want to hire a company from China to get involved in production, that company may cause a problem and disadvantages to our company. Therefore, the firm may gain greater control in the decision-making process of the foreign operation. For example, Procter and Gamble, P&G. As we all know that P&G is a huge company. Its product consists of Ambipure, Oral-B, Olay, Gillette, Pantene, Sunsilk, etc. Thank you. In conclusion, eclectic paradigm refers to a method for analyzing the attractiveness of making a foreign direct investment, or FDI. And also, this eclectic paradigm is based on different models. They are OLI models, or known as O, ownership advantages, L, location specific advantages, last but not least, I, internalization advantages. So that's all from the three of us. Thank you very much.